In many cases, private bail bond companies continue to abuse impoverished individuals long after their criminal case has been resolved. Even when the charges have been dismissed and an arrestee has been fully exonerated, private bail bond companies violate law and ethics through predatory techniques to secure payments. In 2015, the United States Department of Justice reported that law enforcement had been used to systematically extract money from the poorest residents in Ferguson, Missouri. Across the country, thousands of people are unconstitutionally jailed simply for being poor. States pile on fines and fees, even when it is clear that the person simply is too poor to pay. The Supreme Court has repeatedly held that someone cannot be punished just for being poor. If a person genuinely cannot pay a debt to the state, then the state must find an alternative solution, such as community service, a payment plan, or reduction in the fine itself. Nevertheless, many states ignore long-standing constitutional precedent and jail people for fines they cannot pay, resulting in modern-day debtors' prison and an unconstitutional barrier to climbing out of the cycle of poverty. The history of the United States criminal justice system is also marked by racial inequality and sustained by present-day policy. Large racial and ethnic disparities exist across several stages of the criminal legal system, including criminal legal processing, arrest, pretrial detention, sentencing, and incarceration, among others, with Black, Latino, and Native Americans experiencing the worst outcome. Youth of color are disproportionately detained and disproportionately tried as adults. Blacks comprise just 13.4% of the United States population, but account for 33% of those incarcerated in state and federal prisons. In comparison, white comprise 76.6% of the United States population, but account for 30% of the state and federal inmate population. An October 2021 report from the Sentencing Project, an organization advocating for criminal justice reform, found that Black Americans are incarcerated in state prisons across the country at nearly 5 times the rate of whites, Latino, and are 1.3 times as likely to be incarcerated than non-Latino whites. The evidence for racial disparities in the criminal justice system is well documented. The disproportionate racial impact of certain laws and policies, as well as biased decision-making by the justice system, leads to high rates of arrest and incarceration in low-income communities of color. However, there is no evidence that these wildly disproportionate rates of criminal justice contact and incarceration are making us any safer.